direct on YouTube as well. Just to say, it's 35 and social. It's a rainy day. It's a cold day in London. Where you listen to us from, we don't know. We would like to know. But as you know, you can always reach us on 074 956 36899. You can reach us on 074 956 36899. You can call us direct on that number, send a text, or call us via WhatsApp as well. Lady B, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. And how are you?
I'm okay. I've been looking forward to today's topic. It's glad to be back on WNR Radio. It's glad to be back to have conversations, and I mean, I'm sure people are quite happy as well. And also that we've actually gone a step further in making sure they can see us online as well. How are you today? I love your style. I love your style. You're looking fly. You're looking amazing.
All right, thank you. So are you. So are you. It's good to
Fantastic.
be back. It's been like a week. So
It is. It's been a week, isn't it?
yeah.
But it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned as well, you can see us live now on WNR Radio if you want to see us and see what I'm talking about. Lady B looking fly, looking amazing here on WNR Radio. Okay, Lady B, what do you got? What do you got for us today? You know what? You always come with some amazing topics, which blows my mind away. What have you got for us today?
Yeah. So today we're, 35 and social, we're talking about not single, but in touch with your ex.
My God.
Yeah,
What-
that's what we're talking
People,
about today.
what are
We're
you?
going to be
Oh my
shattering
God.
tables.
No, they're not single, but they're in touch with their ex.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow. I am intrigued. I want to find out a bit more, what you got for us, lined up for us. I think that's quite intriguing. You're still not with you're still with your new partner, but you're still talking to your ex. Wow, I must
Mm-hmm.
have got it wrong there because I'm thinking, is it right? Is it right to be doing that at all? Okay, so they're in. I mean, even the topic is blowing my mind. Is
Yeah,
going in
no.
my head at the moment. I'm thinking to myself, wow. But ladies and gentlemen, I would love it that if you are in touch with us as well and get some of your ideas on the show as well. Let's hear from you. As you know, the show is always interactive and it's on 074 956 36899. We would love to hear from you as we go. So the number again is 074 956 36899. Okay, so wonderful. Not single, but still in touch with their ex. I mean, let's define who's an ex, Lady B. Who's an ex? Let's start from there because maybe there's a confusion to some certain individuals. Who's an ex? And yeah,
Yeah, I think a next in this context will be someone that, you've been in a relationship with before,
yeah,
sort of romantic or emotional relationship where that was just, beyond friendship.
yes,
And then you guys are no longer together. I think that's what I would define as an ex.
fantastic. I like the key word there. No longer together. That's who you would define as an ex. Someone who you've had a bit of a lovey-dovey relationship with in the past, and and something happened. You guys didn't work out, and you decided, let's call it quits and move on to with our lives. But you decided, you know what, you want to stay back, or is it, or not? Because if
Mm,
you
gonna
decided,
find out.
I know we're going to find out. Okay. Now we've defined what an ex is. An ex is an individual who, obviously, everyone knows that. So that's been cleared out of the way. So, okay. Hello, Seth. Seth is watching from Lagos. Seth, thank you for joining in. Always amazing to have you on here as well. Lady B is saying hello to you as well. We see you live
I
on
said,
YouTube there. Fantastic. So now we've defined who a listener, sorry, this topic is blowing me away. Let me say welcome to all our listeners as well. Thank you for joining us here on WNR Radio. Always amazing to have you on the show. We have the amazing Lady B here, and we're talking about not single, but still in touch with the ex. We define who an ex is. Ex is an individual you've had some sort of relationship, love relationship, whatever relationship, and you decide to go part your ways. So why would someone stay in touch with their ex?
hmm, yes,
Mm,
very, very intriguing question. There's so many reasons. There's so many reasons why people would stay in touch with their ex. Just as we're talking about the topic earlier, we're talking about, why people stay in touch with their ex? How would
Yeah.
you feel if your partner was still in touch, with
Mm,
their ex? Because I think some people are, but when you put yourself in their shoes, it kind of helps you see it from another perspective.
yeah.
But I think the main reason why people would stay in touch with their ex is just because there's some sort of unfinished business, whatever that is.
Hmm.
There are different reasons why relationships come to an end. And I
Yeah.
just feel
Yeah.
like, some people could be like, they could just have a sort of unfinished business and they want to keep this person in their lives.
True.
It could be very innocent, or it could be some sort of backup plan,
Right.
It
Backup. Let me backup plan. I need to I need to elaborate. Okay, please, sorry to interrupt you, but that just took my attention there when you said backup plan. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, so it could be like a sort of backup plan, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think anyone who's keeping in touch with their ex know the reason why they're still in touch with their ex.
Mhm.
Some people could also be in touch with their ex because of like guilt, or
Right.
there's something that sort of ties them together, maybe like a business or a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there are just so many, 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 many reasons. But from your perspective, why do you think people still stay in touch with their
I
exes?
love it that you brought it back to me. I love it. We're still going to go back to that backup,
Yeah, of
statement you made.
course.
I need to understand that. I think sometimes, people, again, at the moment, we're not saying it's right. We're not saying it's wrong. We're just
No.
trying to envisage. We're trying to put ourselves in a, no, should I say ourselves? I don't know. We're trying to think or imagine, not myself. I don't know. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble. Um, why people will want to be, keeping in touch with their ex. It could be, a genuine friendship. It could be they develop this kind of friendship, and it's something, it's transitioned, naturally into a friend, type of a platonic friendship, maybe, or could be, you know, it could be a shared history. Maybe they've been together for a very long time,
Yeah.
and eventually, you know, things did not work out as it should be. And what else? It could be co-parenting, as you mentioned as well. Co-parenting is another reason why things like that does happen. You know, so and also, you're right. It could be the backup, but my backup, meaning emotional backup. You
Yeah, of course.
not saying that it's a right thing to do. I don't know, or right or wrong thing to do, but people, have this thoughts in their head. But I mean, if we look at all those reasons now, we'll talk about the true friendship. Yeah, we talked about shared responsibilities, co-parenting, and all of that, right? But is it enough reason to stay with your ex? Let's look at unfinished business, the exciting part of it. But before we join to the unfinished business,
Yeah.
you mentioned backup. Please, what is backup? What were you talking about, Lady B?
Oh my God, the list is endless when you talk about backup. But just as I said, whoever is keeping in touch with their ex, they're the ones who can answer and tell us why they're still in touch with their ex.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people still stay in touch with their ex because they have okay, so let's talk about the backup,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
it could be for like, sexual backup plan. Maybe they just
Wow.
feel like, there was such a great sexual
Mm.
relationship between them and their ex.
Yeah.
However, for reasons best known to them, they just could not proceed with that relationship, but the sex and the intimacy was great. So if for some reason
Mm.
the sex with the current partner is not very great, when you're in touch with someone, it's possible to, develop some sort of emotional attachment or connection, and then you start revisiting the past, and then voila,
Yeah.
something's bound to, yeah. So it could be for like, sexual backup, it could be for like emotional backup, just as you said, it could be like a relationship where they've been together for so many years and it's so difficult to let go, and this person basically know how you started and they
Mm.
know so much about you. It would be easier for you to connect with them compared to someone you've just recently met.
Mm.
um, so that's probably what I would say.
Mm. Okay.
And one more thing is
Yeah.
like, maybe they're just like, maybe if my current relationship does not work, I could easily just go back to my ex. You
backup
know,
plans.
so those are the things I would define as a backup plan. But I
Okay.
have a question though. Do you think that when people end a relationship, do they agree to be friends, to stay in touch, or it just naturally happens? Because, at that point where you're like, we're no longer, gonna see each other, do you
Yeah.
say, okay, yeah, we can still be friends, or do they just fall into that friend zone?
I think it depends on how the relationship ended. Uh,
Mm,
in most cases, I mean, in some cases, the relationships that you just want to run away from that individual, or the relationships where you think, okay,
yeah,
we're just on two different wavelengths. We're not
yeah.
ready to move to that next stage, or maybe someone is like saying to you, I want to have kids now, and you're saying to the person, no, I'm not ready to have kids. I just want to, relax and do stuff kind of thing. So I think it kind of varies. But the thing is, I love it that you've highlighted quite a number of things there, where some individuals, would go ahead and keep in touch with their friends, sorry, the exes, because, for example, they think as a backup plan. But yeah, I want to dive into that a bit. All well and good when you talk about your ex, or you having an ex as a backup plan, but at what point does that stop becoming a backup plan? Because if you're going, I'm assuming, like, if you go into a relationship, you're going in there because you want to commit yourself 100% to this particular new relationship. You've taken your time to know this individual, and you're at a stage in your life you think, you know what, maybe, I don't know why, yes or no, why the last relationship ended. We don't know, but we would assume that maybe everyone, or both of you, wanted something different. But yes, there's still a bit of an attachment to that ex. But when does that ex stop being a backup?
Mm. I would say that the ex will stop being a backup when you are like fully invested in your current relationship.
Hmm.
But I think that now brings the question, do you now stop keeping in touch with that ex if they were there as a form of backup? So if you're having that ex as a backup plan, like, okay, if my current relationship does not work, I can easily go back to my ex.
Mm,
For some reason your current relationship starts working and you actually see yourself potentially marrying this person, I think at that point, but that's such a great question because
mm,
some people don't draw the line at marriage,
mm.
right? Some people still feel like, these days divorce rates are high, right?
Yeah.
So if my
Uh-huh.
ex is still single, I could easily just go back to them and say, oh, I made a mistake. You should have been the one.
Mm,
I should have married you instead, of my wife. So some people may not even draw the line at the marriage. So I think I get where your question comes from, to the
mm.
point that, yeah, when does that ex stop being a backup? Maybe when that ex gets committed and like there's no going back for you at that point. But
Yeah.
some people never draw the line even when they get married. They're still like, oh, maybe something can happen someday. I've always liked this person. And at that time, we're on different wavelengths,
Mm,
but it's possible that, something can happen in the future.
mhm.
But I think that the reality dawns on us as a person when that ex is no longer there, when they're no longer available for us emotionally, or for whatever reason we had them there as a backup, and then it's like, okay, well, they're gone, so I need to face forward.
Okay.
Um, thing, yeah,
So before we move on from the backup place, and maybe move on to the next topic, is because if you start as an individual, you're in a really new relationship, you still have you're still reminiscing on the past relationship of your ex, and you're keeping them as a backup, as you mentioned now. I'm thinking you're creating um you know a situation where you're unable to be fully invested in your new relationship. Because if you're always thinking that maybe when there's an argument, or where there's a misunderstanding,
yeah,
you have this supposed backup person, where you're going to go and have that conversation and say, oh, this is what this person did and that what this person did. You're opening, you know um, problems into that relationship because the person you should be talking to is your current partner.
Of
Because
course.
you go in, oh, because that ex, especially the guy, he's not going to tell you the right thing. Most people would not.
Hmm.
He will tell you what you want to hear and try and get you to possibly, you know, come back to him. But it's a waste of time because an ex is an ex for a reason. I keep saying that to people. You know,
Mm.
oh, we have a call. Do we have a call or someone just tried to call us? Here, let's go in and get that call. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Oh, can we hear her at the moment? Hello, can you hear us?
How you doing?
Hi, how are you? You're live on Double R Radio.
Yeah,
So, have you got a question or have you got a comment?
yeah. The comment is about the X.
Yes,
My contribution about the X.
yes, carry on.
Actually, for me, good evening first.
Good
Good evening,
evening. Good
everyone.
evening. Sorry, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Elma Mary. I'm calling
Elma.
from Nigeria.
Fantastic, Elma. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I don't think I should stop in a relationship when I wasn't well treated and then go back to my ex. You know, going back is like just wasting my time with that person.
Yes,
So sometimes it's really not advisable to go back. It's not.
yes.
Sometimes you see some people cracking jokes that going back to your ex or you dance to some kind of music, the person will prepare to dance
Yes.
because they don't want to go back to face what they faced in the previous time when they were together. So I wouldn't buy the idea of going back to my ex.
Okay. Have
That's
you
my own
yeah,
contribution.
let me ask you a question. Thank you for calling though. Have you ever, gone back to your ex while you're in a relationship? Have you ever kept in touch with an ex while you're in a relationship?
Really, it depends. I'm not the one that always call. They call me or
Okay.
he calls me to get in touch with me, maybe for some reason. But if I see that that's him getting in touch with me is he's just coming back with another problem, I just decide to
Okay.
block him off.
Okay. Lady B, do you want to contribute?
Yeah, I was gonna thank you, Elma, so much for calling. I was gonna ask a question. So, for example, you've recently met someone, right? And this person
Yeah.
has shown an interest in you, and for some reason they get talking about their ex, and you find out that they are in touch with their ex. Would you find this as something harmless, or would that automatically be a red flag for you?
Well, for me, it would be a red flag.
Okay. And you wouldn't want to find out why they're still in touch, maybe like co-parenting, or it's
Okay,
just
like
like a
if they
no, no,
have
no.
kids together, that one is quite understandable. But
Hmm.
if there is not the, the two of them together, it's a red flag for me.
Okay.
Fantastic.
What if they've got like mutual friends, or they've got maybe the family or friends? Would that still be a red flag?
Yeah, that can happen actually because
Yeah.
nobody will be an enemy to each other. We're all humans.
Yeah.
Being that we're in a relationship and we now get to understand that we cannot continue in the relationship. Thing is, we shouldn't be enemy to ourselves. We should just greet and everybody go their way. That's my
Wow.
Mm.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank
Ella, I
you.
want to say big thank you for calling in. Always amazing to hear your voice as well. Ella is an amazing listener to
thank
Dublin
you.
Radio who's been always been with us for a wonderful time as well. Thank you again, Ella, and have a lovely weekend. We shall see you and speak to you soon. Thank you. Yes, that was Ella there. Thank you for calling. I mean, she did say, what, I'm not going to keep in touch with my ex. She said no. There should be no reason to because it would cause problems. I don't. What's your take on that?
I feel like many people are still in touch with their ex,
Low key.
But yeah, I feel like, just as you said, whatever the reason for the split or the breakup was also determines, why people are still in touch with their ex. And now that brings my mind to a question. So what if, because some people, like, as soon as they break up, they're
Mm.
still dealing with the pain, they're still dealing with the emotions, they just don't want to talk to their ex, and everyone goes their separate ways. So
Mm.
let's take, for example, it gets to a point where you're married and your ex is married, like everyone is fine, everyone's got kids, or everyone's, they're just doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
and your ex wants to, keep in touch.
Mm.
Would that still be a red flag? Would that still be harmful? Because, like, I don't think anyone would think that, oh, like, we're going to be together. Um, is it safe at that point when everyone is sort of, in a way, committed? Do you think at that point it's safe to, to be in touch with an ex, because you could easily say it's a red flag from the start when someone's trying to get into a relationship and you already know they're keeping with their ex, they're keeping in touch
Yeah.
with their ex. That's a red flag. But when you're
Yeah.
not in a relationship with someone, and would you call it off because their ex has reached out and they're in a like,
Okay.
do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. You're flipping it now that
Yeah.
they want to, they still want to keep in touch,
Mm-hmm.
even when they're married and all of that. I think, okay, I think the question is, when does it start becoming a problem?
Mm.
Because keeping in touch, yeah, we mentioned, we gave a bit of, reasons people will want to keep in touch, true friends, shared responsibilities, unfinished business, the, backup, as you pointed out, kind of thing. All well and good. Platonic friendship, co-parenting, those are valid reasons. Yes, but when does it start becoming a problem? I
Yeah.
think I think it starts becoming a problem. You mentioned about maybe person's in a serious relationship or even married as well. Is when the conversations start becoming secretive. When you start having secret conversations, you have to hide. You know,
Yeah.
you have to hide to have a conversation with this person. You have to hide your messages. You're changing the name of that person. Let me laugh. You're changing the name of the person on your
Mm.
phone. You're changing him to mechanic or, or hairdresser.
That's shady.
That's when it starts becoming a problem because you've allowed it to become a problem. You've allowed a third party to come into your relationship rather than engaging with your partner and discussing issues. You're not sharing other things without this person, so it becomes a problem. Emotional cheating is another thing.
Mm.
People always focus on the physical aspect of cheating. I don't even know which one is worse. You know what I mean? I don't know which one is worse because I think emotional cheating is worse because it's almost a
I think
betrayal.
so.
It's almost a betrayal. Not that either is good. Please don't get me wrong. Not but emotional cheating is like you're texting your ex when you should be talking to your partner.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
things of sharing how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You're not sharing to that person because you feel like this person is your backup thing. And I'm not pointing fingers. I think women do that a lot. I think men do it as well. Don't get me wrong. Please, I put my hands up before people come for me. Number is 074 956
Mhm.
36899. 074 956 36899. So I think it's when does it become a problem? That's when you start looking at it. And something else is, I think we all do subconsciously sometimes is comparing, you know,
Yeah.
your partner to your ex,
Mm.
because they're around you now, you know, and you're still keeping that engagement going.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be healthy. It's never going to be healthy. It's never going to be, something that can add to your relationship. It's always going to be an issue. And also late night chats,
Mm.
you know, just checking in, text at midnight. What are you checking in? Are you okay? What are you checking in? I mean, it reminds me, before, not to go away from this. I read on social media. I don't know what your take on this is. A woman, yeah, is married, right? Married to I mean, just recently married. Then on the night they were going on honeymoon, she texts her ex goodbye. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow.
You know,
um, I think. I would want to know like what kind of conversation they were having before, like were they in touch before, or like he hasn't heard from her in months or years, and then she just says goodbye.
So
Uh,
let me rephrase it again. So on the night of the honeymoon,
yeah,
they're going to honeymoon on the night.
yeah.
She decided to text him on the night of the honeymoon. Does how? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, for me, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, yeah, it brings a lot of questions to my mind. But I wouldn't be one to like, just jump into conclusion like, okay, maybe that's her drawing the line. Like they had something going on before, and now she's saying goodbye to everything. So maybe there was an affair before, but you can't really say because it's just goodbye. So what exactly does that mean?
Okay, so my thoughts is why would you think of your ex on the night you're going on honeymoon?
Wait, is it the bride that sends
Yes,
goodbye to? Oh,
yes, it's the bride, the woman. I said it, the woman, the lady.
oh, I thought you said the husband's ex sends him
No,
goodbye.
no, is the woman that sends a goodbye text to
Oh,
her ex on the night you're going on honeymoon.
yeah, that's very suspicious. Very,
Extremely,
very suspicious.
extremely is. I mean, what I mean, do you know what her husband did?
No, tell me.
What would you do? What would you do if that was you?
Maybe take her for a lie detector test or something because I want to know everything. I don't even know where to start, but yeah, that's very shady. Like,
Yes, it's very shady. On the night of your, honeymoon. So why did you get married then? Why did you get married to that person? Why didn't you
yeah,
just, let them be? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You know, this is what we're talking about, having that secretive conversation.
yeah,
Secretive conversation. This is when it starts becoming a problem. On the night of your wedding, why are you doing that?
yeah.
I mean, what the husband just took her back the next day.
Whoa.
He saw the text. I don't know how, accidentally, or maybe with just carelessness. And he saw it and was like, what? Like on honeymoon,
Yeah, it's very
Eve,
questionable.
you know, honeymoon Eve, you're sending a text to your ex, it's quite worrying. So he took her back. He took her back and flew her back to the country. And most people were saying, why? Okay, we have another question. I'll just read out a question from Margaret. Thank you for Margaret for your question. Always amazing to hear from you. So the question should be, why would they want to keep in touch? You now have a life and a family, so they should be left in the past. The first conversation might not start off as being dangerous, but consequently, it's going to be dangerous. The devil can only work when you allow him in. I mean, that's absolutely on point. That's
Hmm.
absolutely on point because I love it there that she pointed out. Margaret, thank you for sending this amazing question. You can call in as well if you wanted to, and don't be shy. 074 956 36899. She pointed out there that you don't have a family, you have a new life. An X is an X for a reason. You know,
Hmm.
so it's very important. Seth, please resend your message on YouTube. Don't be shy. Don't be retracting your
I'm
message.
sort of on the fence about it, to be honest, like keeping in touch with an ex.
Mm,
But I think that when it just as you said previously, when it becomes a secret, when it gets to the point where like you're comparing your ex to your partner, because just as we said, like people keep in touch with their ex for different reasons. Some people might keep in touch with their ex because they feel, guilty about the breakup, and
mm.
they could have been friends for years, or maybe family friends or business partners, and they don't want to lose that valuable friendship,
Yeah.
so they stay in touch with their ex. And it's possible that they were, in a relationship, but there was not any strong emotional feelings
Mm,
or attachment, and that's probably why they broke up.
mhm.
But I think when it's like unhealthy, that's when it's a problem. But I
Yes.
don't think that, generally, just my perspective anyways, I don't think that, being in touch with an ex, it depends on what kind of ex it is. I
Mm.
don't think that being in touch with an ex is, all in all, harmful or red flag. It's just my opinion anyways.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to read out, Seth, thank you for your message
Yeah.
on YouTube here. Seth says, rekindling relationships with an ex can be dicey. Oh, we have a call. Okay, let's just take this call first before we get on to good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hello, hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Um,
Hello, Margaret. How are you doing today? How are you? Can you hear us, Margaret?
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Margaret. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great to hear from
So
you.
I wanted to um, um, you just said just now,
Okay.
and she said she sees no reason why you shouldn't be in touch with your ex so far as um you left it on a good note and all that. I believe that's what she said. But I'd like to point out that I don't agree. I don't quite agree with that because why are you keeping in touch with the person? Let the person be. Let them let you. There's no point, especially when you're going into a committed relationship or a new relationship. You should allow your chance. I mean, keeping in touch with your ex will just make you keep reminiscing on what happened and making you not focus on what's ahead of you and just making you think back on, oh, I was this person treated me like this, and comparing, and which is not really good. Aside that, there's no point. There's just no point. So far as you people are not together, there's no point. Because I mean, what might start off as an harmless conversation and innocent, you people dated. There was a reason why you dated. It's just going to keep coming up. Is That's just it. That's just it with emotions. Because on a day that you're not on good terms with your partner, take for instance you're in a relationship already and you're not on good terms with your partner that very day, and it reaches out to you, and you people start talking, and then things just pick up from there and all that. I mean, how are you going to explain it to your partner then that, oh, it was when we're not talking, it was when we're having issues? Is that supposed to be an excuse for you to actually
I agree.
peradventure you?
Sorry, I just want to bring it back.
So
What do you mean pick up? When pick up something? What's picking up, Esther? Oh, Margaret, sorry. What's picking up?
let's pick up from the past, pick up from where both of you left off in the first place. Let's say, oh, it wasn't a, because I mean, I feel like the only reason why you should touch with your ex in the first place is if it didn't end on a bad note. And of course, like if it didn't end on a bad note, there's a possibility that anything can still happen. Since it wasn't like, oh, it was abusive or it cheated and you guys had to break up or something. I mean, so people still go back to their cheating boyfriend. I'm not judging. That's your decision. But I mean, it's just going to be very, very easy for you to pick up from there, pick up wherever it is you left off. So far as you're in a committed relationship already, I really don't see the reason why you should be talking to your ex
Amazing.
per se. What is joining the two of you together? So far as you don't have any business together, that's like work business. So far as you don't have kids together, so far as you're not sharing anything together, let them just be. Both of you should move on. They did not tie your placenta together. They are not tying both of you. People do not take an oath of, oh, we would always remain friends no matter what. Let them just be. That's my opinion.
Margaret, thank you very much. I'll let Lady B respond to that because she made that comment, and
Yeah.
please, Lady B, you have the floor.
Gladly, gladly. Thank you so much, Margaret, for calling in and for your wonderful contribution. But, just as I said, I feel like everyone views this from different perspectives, right? And they're different kind of exes. So, and there are also different types of keeping in touch. I think maybe that's sort of where there might be some disparity. So, for example, maybe your ex is just,
Member dies.
sorry?
Family member dies, you should not reach out to. In fact, the family member dies, just move on. Don't
They
bother
shouldn't reach out.
for. What are you reaching out for? No, the person has died. You have to fight the Because I don't understand. You
So
understand?
are you saying now that once you're an ex, once you're ex with someone, you just block them, delete their number,
I'm not
take them off your social media, like no, absolutely no contact.
okay. Delete the number. What are you? Because keeping the number on your phone definitely be temptation to reach out when you are bored or when you're
Mm.
alone or something. Delete the number. I'm not saying block. I'm not. I'm honestly usually not in support of blocking people. Honestly, I'm not. I mean, anything can come up. But again, if you don't have kids together or you don't have a working relationship that's business like anything of the sort, there's really no need for you to keep in touch with your ex. You're just going, okay, what do you people want to be talking about exactly? Oh, remember the time this is the first time. Oh, remember the time we went out and we laughed. Or what exactly do you want to be talking about that you didn't talk about during the
I can't even
what?
imagine. I can't imagine what they were talking about. Yeah, you know. I mean, Lady B, what you saying? Where you coming back with it?
So, what did you say?
What's your response? As she's saying, what are you gonna be?
So I was gonna say, so if you don't block them and they reach out to you, do you not respond at all?
Oh yes, respond, but keep it short and simple. Then just, I mean,
And
what
they keep chatting you, and then you keep responding.
what are they? You ask what are you talking for? Because I don't understand. Don't you have a life? I don't understand. I'm not trying to sound mean or anything, but I just really don't see the point of out for some like what exactly is the point? So
Mm.
I'm just like, why? Just why? What do you the relationship don't work out for a reason. So what exactly do you want? You want us to be friends, no problem. But us being friends does not mean that oh we should reach out every or we should talk every day or we should keep
Yeah.
in touch often.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was.
we're cool, we're not fighting, no problem. But I mean keep your distance, especially when you're in a committed relation or when you're in a new relationship. Keep your distance.
Amazing. An X
Thank
is
you
an
so
X for a reason, isn't it, Lady? And
Right.
Margaret, amazing call. Thank you for
Thank you
calling.
so much,
Always,
Margaret.
always
Thank you
wonderful
very
hearing from you. Thank you. Speak to you soon. I mean, you know what? An X is an X for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, I was gonna say something,
yeah,
and just as Margaret said, I feel like it becomes a problem when you're constantly talking to your ex. That's a problem. Like you're talking to them every day. You're
yeah,
not in a relationship with them. They're not your partners who you should be talking to every day. But
yeah.
that's a problem. But like absolutely no contact with an ex, that's a different conversation.
Mm,
Right. So when we're talking about keeping in touch with an ex or talking to an ex, are you saying like absolutely no contact, don't have them on your socials, don't respond when they say hi, like block them, delete them from your life? And I feel like that could also come from the perspective of if you were someone, if they hurt you,
mm,
right?
mhm.
You don't want to have anything to do with them in the first place. If it was a sort of relationship where there were like strong emotional connections
Yeah,
and they broke your heart, of course you wouldn't want to talk to them
yeah,
because you're the victim sort of in that context. But
yeah.
if it's a situation where you're feeling guilty for doing the breakup, you might try to reach out
Okay.
because you're trying to kind of mend the fences. So I feel like, from my perspective,
Yeah,
right, I feel
yeah.
like you can talk with an ex, but what kind of conversations are you having with them? How frequent are these conversations? Are they secretive conversations? Is your
Are you,
partner comfortable with the conversation?
is he aware of the conversation? Or is she aware of the
Yeah, are
conversation?
they aware that you're still in touch with your ex? I think that's where you now, when these sort of questions come up, that's when, because if your partner is saying they're not comfortable with you keeping in
Mm,
touch with your ex, and you're still doing it, that raises a question like, why are you still in touch with them?
okay.
But for me, I feel like it's very relative. It's very subjective as well.
I'm gonna come back and listen and ask the questions and respond to your point of view. But I want to quickly go to Seth, who's put a message on YouTube here saying rekindling relationships with an ex can be dicey. There's the whole Okafor's law phenomenon, which holds true
Mhm.
end of the time. I don't even know what that law is. Seth, can you please give me a bit of indication or give me a bit of a um, update on what do you mean by Okafor's law? What does that mean? Please, can you tell me? What is Okafor's law? I mean, I would love you to call in. Number is 074 956 36899. That's 074 956 368 99. You call us direct on that number, or send a text or call via WhatsApp as well. That's 074 956 368 99. What is Okafor's law? I don't know what that is.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, let's go back to your point of view. I mean, this 35NSocial, we're talking about, this is mature dating, talking about all of this, and it's important we get a point of view across, which is quite wonderful. So you're saying that, you know, it shouldn't be a case where you cannot talk to your ex. There should be an open avenue where you can talk to your ex at some point. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're
Like,
also,
yeah.
yeah, but you're also saying that, what kind of engagement are you having with this person? Is it
Yeah.
is it an everyday engagement? Is your partner aware of this? Um,
Yeah.
is it something that's platonic, that everyone is understanding where they are? But I want to quickly go back, and before I answer this question, or make my comment, and to a message Margaret mentioned here. I'm sorry, a comment Margaret, who just called now, I think. She said the question should be, why would they want to keep in touch? Why? You now
Many
have.
reasons. Many reasons.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Is that, why would they want to keep in touch? You now have a family. So assuming you have a family, you have a life and a family. So I mean, maybe you're, in another relationship. So they should be left in the past. The first conversation might not start off as being dangerous, but consequently, it is going to be dangerous. The devil can only work when you allow him in. So I want to look at that last part. I understand you say, you know what, it's okay to have a conversation with your ex, um, as long as it's open. Your what's it called? Your partner knows what's going on. It's transparent. It's a kind of a platonic type of engagement, and everybody's aware of what's happening. But the thing here is, when this relationship is ongoing, or the conversation is ongoing, how do you measure when it starts shifting to the other side? Because as we are all emotional beings, as Margaret rightly pointed out, you could be in a situation where you find that you've had a misunderstanding with your current partner, and you're looking for a shoulder to cry on. And at that point, you start having conversations and start sharing things you shouldn't be sharing because you're upset at that point.
Yeah.
So this other person, you never know what they're feeling. You never know what thoughts is going through their head. They might be reminiscing, about the past, as Margaret rightly pointed out. That, oh my gosh, I can remember when we hugged ourselves, kind of thing. Oh my God, the temperature of hugging. All of that emotional things can start building in. So the point is, if you leave the door ajar, it can be blown open without you realizing that can happen. But again, we're meant to be all matured human beings, and hopefully trying to cover or control our emotions. But the thing here is, at some point, let's imagine this, Lady B. Okay, imagine a woman that just got married, or a woman in a very, or just go engaged, right? And she starts scrolling through her phone, and is at a text, and she starts giggling. Then the partner realizes it's from her ex. What do you think the next move would be?
What's funny? I
You
want
know,
to tell me about it. Why are you laughing?
I know you want to know why you're laughing, but the
Mhm.
tone in which, because you're going to have reservations already.
Yeah.
Anyone's going to have reservations. Like, what? Why? Why is your ex texting you? Especially if the person is not allowing or giving room for that.
Yeah, I feel like, wait, let's back up a bit, right?
Okay. Okay.
I feel like if it's just one time that they laugh, but if it's like they're always laughing, then that's a problem.
That's okay.
That would be a problem. It could just be like maybe one time,
Yeah.
right? Maybe
Yeah.
they sent you a funny video on social media, or they said something and it's funny, right? That's
Yeah.
fine. But when it's every single time, maybe they call you and like you're laughing, you're giggling, you have your legs up in the air, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's very dicey.
I think yeah, it is very dicey as used by Seth there, the Okafor's law phenomenon. I'm still waiting for him to tell us what that means because I've never heard of that phenomenon before. I'd like to know what that is. You know, all in all, oh, I think he just replied. Later, I
Okay.
didn't realize that. Oh, I think I just let me just read it out. Okafor's law simply is the idea that one can always gain access to their ex sexually even after the relationship ends.
That's crazy. Where did that come from? I'm not sure I've ever heard it
I've
before.
never heard of that law, Seth. Is that one you brought up? Okafor's law or Okafor's law phenomenon? Oh wow. But you
Mm.
know what? We might be smiling about that, but it's a very high possibility.
But the funny thing
Mm,
is, right,
yeah,
the perspective I see it from is, we're talking about X,
yeah,
but we also know that they're friends that these things could happen with as well,
yes.
right? So
Hmm.
let's leave the X to one side, right?
Okay.
So there's a friend that you're always in constant communication with. There's
Okay.
this friend that you're always comparing your partner to. There's
Mm,
this friend that you're always telling about your relationship. So I
mm,
should not be bothered about that because that person is not your ex.
Lady B is spilling some words. You're right. I mean, in any case, if we have or anyone in a relationship
Yeah.
has another person that they've opened up their relationship to,
Mm.
talking about that ex, I'm sorry, talking about that current partner, comparing that current partner, telling that person conversations he or she is having with their partner,
Yeah.
it's a big problem because
Yeah.
you're maybe creating it. Oh, it's like you're just having a conversation. We're just talking. This person's your friend. No, that
Mm.
person's not your friend.
Yeah.
It's not your friend because you're opening up for disaster to come into your relationship for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that you start creating having resentment towards your partner. Do you know what I mean? Because you're quite right. I mean, I love that analogy because is it because they're my ex or my friend? Yes, you have to worry on that side because the friend one is even dangerous
Mm.
because the friend one now is someone you knew as a friend,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the partner thinks, oh, we are friends.
Yeah.
He's called you, he's texted you, he's just checking on you. He's
Yeah.
he or she's just sending you pictures of them smiling, of them wearing something. Oh, we're just friends, but there's an ulterior motive in all of
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
But
Same.
I think, I mean, that's a fantastic, example you gave there. But all in all, we've identified when things become a problem, when you're now secretive about conversations you have
Yeah.
with an ex or someone you call your friend. Your partner's not aware of that. You're having late night texts. What are you talking about at night? Are you doing fellowship or night
Good job.
or something? And you start comparing that individual, your ex or your supposed friend, with your partner, you know, and emotional cheating is the most overlooked thing people don't really talk about. I think maybe that should be our next topic. That what is emotional cheating? We need
Okay.
we need to, we need to dive into that because a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? A lot of us do it. Some of us do it without realizing, what it is. We just, do you know what I mean? We just, do without, you're texting someone when you should be talking to your partner. You're having an issue at home and you feel like, oh, Mr. A or Miss A is the person you want to relate to, and I mean, that's the worst form of betrayal, you can ever, do to someone and stuff. But all in all, to understand your point, Ms. Lady B, I think setting boundaries and finding a balance
Yeah.
is very important. Not everyone can,
Yeah.
because you have to be honest with yourself. You know,
Yeah.
but the thing is, the first thing which you pointed out is transparency. Transparency is key, because if you know within yourself, you're not hiding anything, or you're in this relationship, you're vested in this new relationship you're with your partner, married or boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, that X is an X for a reason. So there's no reason for you to be hiding anything or be secretive or having, late night texts, or, changing the name to, Baba, washman,
Panic.
driver, or Uber, you know,
Mm,
all those starts, it's when you're transparent, the burden is lifted off. Because
yeah.
one of the things is, I think people overlook this as well. I don't know, they might disagree or not disagree, but if you're having that kind of engagement with someone and you're with your partner, it's only a matter of time before it gets exposed.
Mm,
Because if you're so invested in that way, where you're doing secretive chats, you're doing comparison, part of you is already invested in
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as a
Yeah.
human, as a human, at some point you will lose. They'll call it lose guard. You lose
Mm,
guard, and then it'll be too late. Because what would happen is, this ex you're trying, or this friend you're trying to engage with, it doesn't really want you. It's just because you feel accessible,
yeah.
But when you're fully accessible, it gets boring.
Mm,
It gets boring because, like, you know what, I'm not ready for that. But at the moment, it feels so, accessible to them. Oh, you're having security chats, the excitement, the buzz is there. But when you're fully accessible now, it doesn't exist anymore. Then let's say your eye clear, you know,
mm,
nothing is happening. But again, not to go away, because I think we just discovered another topic, which is emotional cheating. Watch out for that. We'll be coming through with that. So transparency is key. No shady business.
yeah.
No shady business. An X and an X for a reason. Respect your partner's feelings. You know. Okay, we got another message from Margaret there. I'm just going to read that out. It's not dicey if you want a friend. Go out and make new friends. Make
Not friends with your ex.
exactly make friends with someone you've not been in a relationship with or had sex with. Is it
Yeah.
compulsory you people remain friends? I mean, honestly, that's the honest truth about things.
I don't think so though. I don't think so. I feel like it's very relative.
Okay.
Right? It's very relative because it depends on the type of relationship that you've had with that ex. So if it was a relationship where it was like, just as I said previously, strong emotional connections, like you actually wanted to marry this person, right?
Okay.
And maybe they're the one who called off the relationship or they walked away from that relationship,
Okay.
then I would say, yeah, there's just so much emotional tension there. It would be safe to, cut all form of ties with that
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
But you've brilliantly said so many things, which I absolutely agree with. I
Uh-huh.
feel like you judge yourself as a person first. What's your intention of whatever form of communication you're having with your ex,
Okay.
right? People are,
Oh, that's your friend. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, people are, should I say, like gifts,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
People, serve a certain purpose in our life, right?
Yes. Yes.
So just I wouldn't throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Mm,
So if a
mm,
relationship doesn't work with an ex,
yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean you throw out the friendship, especially if you've had a good friendship. This is just my perspective, and a lot of people
Yes.
may not agree with it, right? It could be very, people may disagree, right? But that's just my opinion. I feel like people come into your life for certain reasons.
Yes.
If there's a mutual understanding to just be friends and there are boundaries there are people that you've been with people have been in relationships with people that they just know like it wouldn't work. There's no
Yeah.
emotions there. There are
Uh-huh.
no
Uh-huh.
feelings there. So you know that, okay, it's safe for me to be in touch with this person, just the way you're in touch with any other friend,
Okay.
right? You're saying you could easily slip into, having some sort of sexual relationship with an ex. It could also happen with a friend.
Of
So
course.
I don't think the problem is an ex. The problem is yourself, because at the end of the day, you can't
Mm-hmm.
control what someone else will say to you, what
Mm-hmm.
someone's intention towards you is, what someone is going to do. You can only judge your own intention.
Yeah.
You can't really be sure how someone else is feeling, but you can be sure how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes secretive, when it becomes unsafe, when you start comparing, when you start telling them things about your relationship, that's the time for you to step back and say, okay, maybe this friendship that I thought it was is not safe. And then you draw the line there, okay, you just stop talking to them, or you reduce communication with them, or you block them, right? You
Mm.
do what you do. You do what you need to do to protect your relationship.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't feel like every single person that is in touch with their ex have ulterior motives. Some people do, maybe most people do. I don't know,
Yeah.
right? And I also know that there are people who have been in touch with their exes and nothing has ever happened, right? We just see the exes or this person that people can easily slip back to. But there are also friends that some people keep there as backup and they were never even exes. Maybe that person even said no to them.
Mm.
So if we pay so much attention to the ex, you might actually not know that, the person that you should, be wary of is actually your friend. So I'll just treat my ex like any other platonic friend. If you know there are no feelings lingering and it's mutual, and you know this person is not trying to get you back. That's my perspective, anyways. I would say yes. But of
Okay.
course, what kind of communication are you having with them?
Yeah.
So it's very there's just a lot to it, but I wouldn't say if you're no longer in a relationship with someone, block them. Don't ever talk to them. Don't ever That's a bit aggressive in my
It it,
perspective.
it depends, isn't it? As you mentioned, it depends
Yeah,
on how that relationship turned out. But
yeah.
I mean, as you said, your point of view is always valid. But you say you know, when it's going into a direction you're not, happy with or comfortable with, you should break, that away. But how much practical can that be if you've left the door ajar? Because leaving the door ajar and having that initial conversation can happen, but I would say that the first thing you need to ask yourself is this necessary? Is this connection necessary for me? You know, what is it that I'm looking for? Or what is it that I'm going to gain that I can't get from my partner? Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Because every relationship, you know, would always have, issues and, rocky times, you know, but you need to think to yourself, is it necessary? I mean, I'm putting it out to our wonderful listeners out there. If you had to set one rule about keeping in touch with your exes, what would that be? I'd love to hear from you, because when we think about, all right, I'm going to go from the male perspective. You're right, and think of uh, an individual, a man who's now maybe in a serious relationship, maybe a fiance, and had an ex as well, and this ex is always, platonic type thing. Hello, hello, hello. For me, I can't even envisage, because it's always going to be difficult because you have history. You have history, and you know it's either going to end, that communication is either going to end in tears because one person's going to think, please, you're my ex, stay as an ex, or it could end up where you catch feelings and you want to explore and break people's heart. It could happen that way, or it could also happen where it's just, a basic um kind of engagement. It can. But the thing here is it necessary? Is that I think the first thing you need to ask yourself, is it necessary? What is it adding to my relationship? You know, what is it casual enough? Am I transparent about it? Because exes are always an ex for a reason. And okay, we're not going to talk about just exes alone because I love the other perspective you brought into it, which is the friend, the special friend. Oh, he's just my friend. He's my male friend. He's my male bestie. What is that? He's my female bestie. Please move, man. About my male bestie, my female bestie. What is that? Move
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists. I think there's ulterior motives in there. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You know,
mm,
I think
okay.
your relationship is 35 and social, mature relationship. You want to put all your all in that relationship to make it happen. Stop discussing your things or your problems or issues or compare your man or your woman to anyone else. That person you're telling doesn't have nothing to give you because if they did, they would not be your ex or they will not be your friend. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you don't have friends, but check the conversation, as you rightly pointed out. Is there transparency between you and your partner, and they know the kind of conversations you're having with this person? Can they pick up your device and read the messages and be fine with it? You know, do you respect your partner's feelings? Would it make them uncomfortable if they truly knew the kind of conversations you're having with them, with your ex? Is it casual relationship? Is it a constant relation type of engagement communication, which you pointed out is it all the time? Is it like hello, hi, oh, I just thought I'd check on you today. Oh, how was your day yesterday? It was good, yeah. And okay, all right, good night. Oh, good morning, beautiful. What is that? Again, I still go back to it. Is it necessary? Is it a necessary conversation? Because exes can be dicey. Let me use the word that Margaret and Seth used today. I mean, you know, I know. It can be the exciting times, the looking back at history, the great times you had, but an ex for a reason. Lady B, it's like I can feel the burning sensation coming through. You want to give me or come back to me. Tell me. I can feel that burning sensation.
Yeah, I was gonna say something before, but for some reason I forgot.
No,
Um,
please don't forget. Bring it back. Bring it back.
yeah, you said a lot of a lot of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. And to be honest, I can actually understand why, it could be very dangerous and harmful to stay in touch with an ex.
Yeah,
But I like to look at things from, two perspectives or different perspectives.
100%.
I know that
100%. Yeah.
everyone's story or everyone ex's story might not be the same.
Yes.
But just as we say on the show, we can't tell you what to do. You know
Amazing.
yourself, judge your intentions.
Yes.
And yeah, if something that your partner is not comfortable with, then yeah, it's not worth it because at the end of the day, your priority should be your relationship.
Yes.
And I was also going to say that if you're in a relationship and for some reason, you're talking to your ex,
Mm,
and you find yourself having feelings for your ex, then probably you don't love your partner and you should not be with them. You should actually go back to your ex.
mm,
So yeah, that's the point. If there's a situation where you now start having feelings for your ex, then just go back to them because
mm.
just as we said, they're an ex for a reason, and maybe that's something you've not dealt with, and you're not being honest with yourself.
Yes.
But you're right, transparency is key. If it's something that is affecting your relationship, you're prioritizing your ex over your partner. I don't know if you saw that post on social media where an ex called somebody's partner to take her to the hospital because she was having menstrual cramps in the middle of the night. Yeah, so the girl sort of flipped it on him. I don't know what she did, but she kind of did something like reverse psychology on him, and the guy went nuts. And she was like, guys, like if you don't, put them in that same position, they would never understand. You're just going to be talking. So,
Yeah.
judge your intention. You're still in shock.
I am.
Judge your intentions and be honest with yourself Just that, yeah, you're right. What sort of communication are you having with this person? Is it absolutely necessary for
Mm.
you to still be in touch, with somebody that you've had a romantic relationship with in the past? How is this beneficial to you? Yeah, and you can always make new friends. They don't have to be your friends, especially when you can clearly tell that it's harmful and they sort of want you back. Yeah, so at the end of the day, you need to be truthful to
Yeah.
yourself. I think that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, it is. It is. I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's shocking. Middle of the night. You want to
Yeah.
pick him up. Okay. Right. I mean, all in all, I mean, do we think communication or keeping in touch with an ex is harmless, or is it just low key cheating?
Mm.
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 We're gonna we're gonna leave you with that
Yeah.
uh thought. Keeping in touch with that ex, engaging with that special friend,
Mm.
comparing your partner with other people.
Mm.
Is it harmless or just low key emotional cheating? Who knows? But I'll give you a task tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, ask your partner, your friends, your lovers, how do they feel about keeping in touch with their exes? Let's hear your response. Ask them response. Is it World War Two or Three that's going to happen when you ask them that question? All in all, as Lady B rightly pointed out, we don't tell you what to do. We always just engage and have conversations and bring some thought-provoking, responses. I want to say a big thank you to all our amazing listeners all around the world, and our amazing listeners and viewers on YouTube watching us live right now. A big thank you to everyone. A big thank you. We love you very much. And again, it's been 35 and social with the one and only Lady B. We've been talking about not single, but in touch with the ex. You make up your mind. Is he low key cheating or just harmless? Lady B, what's that final word?
Final words to all our listeners. Yeah, I think I already said my final words, which is, judge your heart, judge your intentions. Is it absolutely necessary? If it's not, then I mean, just avoid any form of, drama. But of course, we only engage. We don't tell you what to do. We can
Yes.
only speak from our perspectives and our experiences. But also, I want to say a big thank you to all of our listeners and our callers, Seth, Margaret, Elma, those people who texted and engaged on YouTube. Yeah, thank you for, being here with us.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. In the meantime, stay locked on, stay locked. Is your host, Double 9, and the amazing one and only Lady B. It's been wonderful. It's been great. We're back again next week on another episode of 35 and Social. Make sure you do tell a friend to tell a friend about Double 9 Radio. And make sure you always tune in. Make sure you follow